Well, hindi siya pera, di ba? It's not meant to be money. It is meant to be parang an asset that you own or that you can hold and then you can resell. So, yung mga artwork ko that are NFTs, people can buy it. The fact that they have yung NFT, yung token, the fact that they have that token in their MetaMask wallet or in their MyEther wallet or whatever, yun yung ownership of the artwork.
Jonathan Tinoco here, and welcome sa ating mga kasama. Marami na naman tayong matututunan, especially we've invited a special guest, and I believe siguro nakita nyo na sa description and doon sa poster sila mga kasama natin. But before I introduce our guest for tonight, let me introduce first my co-host, yung aking dalawang co-host, Fermin and James.
Welcome to another exciting session where we've got one of our very own to talk to you about exciting developments in a particular segment of the crypto space.
Yeah. Again, thank you very much for having me with your session tonight, Coach Jonathan, and of course, Fermin. And we have a special guest tonight, and we will be learning a lot from this guy, definitely.
So Fermin, let's get it.
Sure. Hindi ko na patatagalin pa because we may as well bring the man of the hour on board. He's a man who wears many hats. I'm sure you're familiar with him because you see his name in BloomX, where he's the co-founder. But he is also an author of a number of books on Bitcoin. He's also a regular speaker at the international money conferences abroad. And this is something that not everybody knows. He's also an artist in the NFT world, and he goes by the name of Crypto Pop. So I guess without further ado, we'd like to welcome our special guest for tonight, Buenaventura.
Hey guys, sorry, nakamute pala ako. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be with you. And thank you so much to our hosts, Jonathan, Fermin, James. Thanks so much for the invite. I'm very excited to be here.
Sige, I guess let's start with a simple question because nga, some of the viewers might be new to the cryptocurrency space. So Luis, let's start by, if you can explain what is an NFT, non-fungible token, and how does that differ from a typical cryptocurrency like Bitcoin?
Sure. Sige. And this one is like medyo definitions lang naman to, so I won't go into the bloody details, no? So the only important part of the word NFT, yung non-fungible token, the only important part of that is the word token. And what that means is na yung token, this thing, it is representing something else. So parang yung token sa arcade, kung pumunta, I guess wala na palang arcade ngayon kasi lockdown, pero yung token then represents something else. It is meant to represent, in the case of NFT art, it is meant to represent ownership in that artwork. So, kumbaga sa lupa, pag bumili ka ng land, pag bumili ka ng real estate, merong titulo yun, di ba? So, same thing with NFTs. Yung token na yun, parang yun yung titulo, the ownership, ito yung ownership of a thing. I think the topic for tonight is NFT art. So yung token na yon represents ownership in a piece of artwork. And I can talk more about exactly what all that means, pero yun yung parang basic definition. How is it different from cryptocurrency? Well, hindi siya pera, di ba? It's not meant to be money. It is meant to be parang an asset that you own or that you can hold and then you can resell. And it is not in and of itself supposed to have, it's not supposed to be the thing itself, it's just a representation of the thing. So, yung mga artwork ko that are NFTs, people can buy it. The fact that they have yung NFT, yung token, the fact that they have that token in their MetaMask wallet or in their MyEther wallet or whatever, yun yung ownership of the artwork. It proves that they are the current owner. And when I sell it, natatanggal from my wallet, yung token na yon, it gets moved to the wallet of the buyer. And that's kind of the main difference. So hindi siya pera, but it is worth money because anything that you can own, anything that you can possess, will have some kind of value. Syempre, of course, iba-iba yan, no? Yung actual value niya is gonna be very different. Pero yun yung parang pinaka-basic na like what an NFT is.
So, I guess a follow-up question to that. So, how and why did you get into art and NFT?
Well, so the thing about so I'll tell you a little bit about myself na lang. So I actually went to Fine Arts, UP Diliman. That's where I graduated. But instead of becoming an artist, I decided I wanted to get into web programming instead. So I became more of a programmer. But as luck would have it, I discovered cryptocurrency back in 2014. I started to create a business around cryptocurrencies. And then in 2017, I saw the two things that I was most passionate about: artwork, which is what I was trained for, and then cryptocurrencies, which is what I was doing for a living. Parang nag-overlap sila. And that is the phenomenon that we're currently talking about, which is NFT art. So it just so happened I was in the right place at the right time. I've always been looking at technology that you can take and parang localize for the Philippine market. So before crypto was a thing, I was looking at social networks. Before that, I was looking at e-commerce. And all of those things, kasi parang those are parang normal things that we expect now in the Philippine internet, no? But back then, in the early 2000s, these were things that were quite novel. So anyway, having already done social networks and e-commerce and things like that, I was looking for the next thing. I discovered Bitcoin, and the first thing I thought was like, this is possibly an answer to parang the remittance, the money transfer problem of Filipinos, yung mga OFWs natin. So that was the first thing that I thought, and this was back in 2014, no? Some people still use it that way, but I think that there are easier. Using Bitcoin for remittances is a little strange because medyo mahal na ngayon yung network fees. Back then kasi network fees were so low that it was negligible. These days, medyo mapapamahal ka if you use Bitcoin as your parang money transfer.
Yeah.
Like, you should just use Western Union. But there are other things that are better for that. There's like blockchains like Stellar. There's
XRP.
XRP, Stellar. Actually, almost pareho yung Stellar and XRP from a technology standpoint. There's another one, Celo, CELO. They're also a blockchain that is very, very oriented around money transfer. So there are projects that are more parang appropriate to stuff like that. But back then, kasi Bitcoin was the only game in town.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't any other options. So that was kind of my first, that was what I was really interested in, trying to find a way to make money transfer cheaper for OFWs. That's how I first got into the industry.
Can you say that investing or buying NFT can be safe as well? Or sabihin natin, para ba itong Bitcoin na meron din siyang sariling wallet, right? Meron din siyang sariling private keys. If anyone nagkaroon na access doon, so pwede rin mawala yung NFTs mo. Am I correct?
Well, so it depends on where you're buying it. If you are using a wallet like MetaMask and you are buying it from a marketplace like OpenSea, I'm just giving examples now. There's lots of options kasi. If that's the situation, binili mo yung NFT art na yon, tapos yung token na yon shows up in your MetaMask, then yeah, the security of it is exactly the same as the security of your Ethereum holdings. Kasi it's built on top of Ethereum. It's just another form of ERC. So it's just one of those many things that Ethereum can do. So same level of security siya doon. It's different if you are buying NFTs through yung mga marketplaces na tawag doon custodial. So in other words, hindi ikaw yung humahawak ng sarili mong tokens. They're holding it for you. There are lots of marketplaces that are like that. Maker's Place, Nifty Gateway, those are the bigger ones. A lot of people prefer that because the people who are art buyers, art collectors, they typically aren't techie, diba? So it's easier for them na i-entrust na lang yung holdings nila. You just entrust it to the marketplace where they are buying it naman. So either way is workable naman. Me personally, I would rather always hold my own keys, hold my own tokens, hold my own coins. I mean, that's kind of a mantra of Bitcoiners because parang, you know, that's the whole point of the technology. You're supposed to be able to hold it yourself. But I understand that lots of people are uncomfortable doing that kasi pressure yun, 'di ba? Na parang pag nawala mo yung private key mo, then that's it, 'di ba? No one can help you. So, ayan, may mga risks either way. And so it really depends on how comfortable you are with the technology.
So parang not your keys, not your coins.
Yeah, and that's true. That's definitely true. But I think that I'm also I'm not militant enough about that belief that I'm just gonna force it on all of the people who listen, because I understand that there are some people who are just not comfortable with technology. Do they not also deserve to be able to own Bitcoin? Of course they deserve to own Bitcoin if they want to.
True.
But maybe they're just never going to get to the point where they're going to be comfortable holding their own private keys. So I just accept that there are many different types of people out there. And we try to, my company, we try to cater to all of them if we can. So that's we're trying to make it accessible to as many people as possible.
So para pala siyang, it's like if we have Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, para pala siyang if you use yung mga tinatawag natin mga, let's say Binance, if you have Binance account, if you have Coinsapage or ABRA, it's like they're the ones who's holding the private key, right? So
Yes.
parang doon nakalagay yung NFT mo kung nasa public siya, which of course, if something happened, nagsara yung, let's say, of course, hindi naman natin diba na-expect na magsara. Pero there are cases na may naman nawawala, nagsasara. Which means, potentially, pwedeng maging, mawala rin yung hawak ng NFT. Unlike if you have your own NFT in your own wallet or private keys, if you're holding that, it means na whatever happened, nasa sa'yo access. Am I correct?
Yeah. So I think that's generally correct. Pero I can name at least one instance kasi where nagsara nga yung company, pero yung NFTs were still on the blockchain. So the ownership was still there. Because you have to remember that the tokens themselves, kasi they're written into the Ethereum blockchain. So technically, whether or not the marketplace exists, nandun pa rin naman sila. Posibleng hindi mo lang ma-access. It depends kasi on what the security level is. Pero hindi sila, they don't disappear. They're there forever. For as long as Ethereum exists, then they'll continue to exist.
Okay, I do have another follow-up question. Because, although alam naman natin Elon Musk, right? So, hindi kaya nakatulong din yung tweets ni Elon Musk about NFT para kaya mag-boom yung NFT? Or before pa niyang ginawa to, it's already on the process? Or let's say na talaga nung pumasok in 2021, it's really the year of NFT. So, what can you say about that, Luis?
Well, So I was around from the beginning, no? Like I'm the third artist in the world who's ever minted an NFT. So I did that in June of 2017, so almost 4 years ago now. So I got to watch this thing evolve. Back then, it wasn't even called NFTs. It was just called ERC-721, which is the protocol that describes how NFTs work, no? So anyway, so I was very early on. And for the first 2 years, nothing. I sold maybe $50 of NFTs per month. So basically nothing, no, nothing to be excited about. And then in late 2019, it started to get a little bit exciting, no. There were more and more parang artists who were not from the crypto space. So they were actually just regular artists. They were starting to come in and starting to, kind of get followings, and they were starting to actually sell. So 2020 was actually when it really started to grow fast. And I think, yung nangyari was, by 2021, yun na, nandun ka na sa peak, and that's when it started to, that's when normal people, mainstream people started to talk about it. Like, the artist people who sold a $69 million NFT artwork, things like that. Yun yung pinaka-mainstream that you can get right now. Like, no one has managed to beat that record. And in fact, if you are interested to know, yung $69 million price tag na yon, that is the third largest profit that a living artist has ever made in the history of art. So, can you imagine na siya yung third most profitable piece of art and it's an NFT, right? Yung mga kalaban niya were like traditional artists, Banksy, Damien Hirst. So these are names like, these are artists who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And then you've got guy number 3 who sold a piece of digital work. And he is now the third most profitable living artist. That's
Alright.
something. That's really something.
Yeah, yeah.